Hello, everybody. My name is Phil Chan, and I'm the co-founder of Final Bow for Yellowface. Welcome to What's the Tea, a daily conversation with a dancer of Asian descent during the month of May for Asian Pacific Heritage Month to highlight the achievements and experiences of Asians in dance. Today, I'm very excited to chat with a colleague from Houston Ballet, Chun Wai Chan, who we share a last name, so maybe we're related long distance, and who's also raising money for Houston Ballet's Corona Relief Fund. Chun Wai, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Hello, everyone. My name is Chun Wai. Very nice to be here, and we can talk about how we are doing here. I'm very excited.
Great. So, obviously everyone has to cancel their seasons. So for you personally, like, how are you doing? Where are you? What were you looking forward to dancing this season? What's going on?
Yeah, it's very sad that we had to cancel our season. We originally going to do 2 mixed rep and Romeo and Juliet before we cancel. And now we have none. And so all of us stuck at home doing some class with Houston Ballet. Before that, I was hosting a lot of live stream class in Instagram for free for the public. I think that actually helped me a lot to keep myself in shape and have a purpose to get up every morning. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit for people who don't know you personally, like where are you from? When did you start your dance training? Tell us a little bit about your dance story and how you got to Houston.
Okay. I started dance when I was 7. From looking through all the pictures that I have when I was a child. At age of 6, I think I was looking at my sister dancing, and then a year after, I was having makeup and then start to dance in the kindergarten. So that's how I start to dance, following my sister's habit. And then I think my parents, they want me to do the swim instead of dance. I think their dream is want me to join the Olympic team in China, and so I can swim and maybe get a prize. But just how the trainer trained me, it wasn't the way I want, and I was so scared of swimming. So I decided to pursue dancing instead of swimming. And my teacher from the dance studio, they were telling my parents that if Chun can pursue ballet, it will be easier for him to get out of country. Yes, it's nice and secure to go through the college, but how many college students we have each year? And it's hard for them to find a job. But ballet is different if he's good at it. And so I wasn't sure I was good at it, and I really want to explore the Western country. It's like one of my dreams when I was little. And then luckily I got into Guangzhou Art School with a ballet major. 6 years later, I went to Switzerland Paris-Lausanne competition, and the school here, academy here, they picked me and gave me full scholarship. And I came here for 2 years in the school, and I joined the company. And in 2017, I promoted to principal dancer with Houston Ballet.
Great. So tell me, what about this fantasy of coming to America? What was it about coming to the West that was so attractive to you, as opposed to having a career in China?
It's a good question. First of all, I've seen a lot of movies, and it just looks chill. Nice. Everything is nice.
Is that true once you've arrived?
Yes.
Does it match the movies?
It matched the movie, and I think in 2006, I was already dancing in the school, and the school organized a trip to Australia. I competed there. I got a gold prize in a youth group. And the experience was so great, not only getting a prize, but the air, how people treat you, and with the French fries and burgers, it just amazed me. And much less people. and it just feels like you are in a different zone, and so clean and everything so organized. That was in Australia, and somehow I end up in America. That's just because my career, it just took me here, and it's, I guess it's destiny. I'm not sure. I came here the first year. I did not have any, I mean, still now, like I miss my family, I love my family, I love China, but I don't have the homesick as I thought I would, because when I moved to Guangzhou for the school, it was a boarding school. I had so much homesick, even though I was only 2 hours away from my parents. But coming to America, it just like it's completely different world that I I focused on my dance so much, and that's one of the reasons I like to being here, so I can just focus doing what I love.
Yeah. So to what degree are you still connected to your Chinese cultural heritage? I know you said you don't have family, which is, I think for a lot of people, how they're connected to their cultures through their family. So here in the United States, without that family, how do you still connect to your heritage? And how do you think that expression comes out in your work as an artist here in America?
I like, it's very easy to connect with my family through the WeChat and video chat. And each week, especially now, like I call them more than once. And I think it's completely connect with my family, because that's something that I want everyone to remember, like who are we, where we come from, and we can never forget our family. That's our roots. And it doesn't mean I have to like be with my roots and my family all the time, because as long as it's in my heart, in my head, in my brain, that's enough. And then you can fly as far as possible, because yes, we are Chinese, and but the world is it's like it's a family. Like we are a family, so it doesn't matter where you are. um as long as you have your family in your mind, you can go anywhere.
Sure. And so thinking about your experience dancing in China, where you're one Chinese person in a group of many different Chinese people, and then going to Australia, coming to the United States, where suddenly maybe you're one or two Asian people out of a room full of many different types of people. What was that experience like for you in terms of the changing of the environment, and how is the ballet as a result feels different maybe than when you were in China?
I was surprised how many, when I just arrived, there's two more Chinese with me, so that wasn't a big change, and it was great to have their company. And but recently, our company only have few Chinese, and I do feel the honor of representing Chinese, and that's actually a lot of power that being a Chinese gave me. Like I'm not only representing me or my family, I'm actually representing a country. So yeah, it helps me a lot, gave me so much motivate to be a good dancer, to be dedicated all the time, committed to what I do. Yeah, like that gave me so much power.
So then tell me, how do you think we're doing in terms of how we represent race and representation on stage in ballet? So, obviously this art form was, a lot of this work was created by people who didn't really have real Chinese people in their communities and their lives. And this was also 100 plus years ago. And for some reason, we just keep some of the traditions, we just do it the same as we did last year without thinking too much. So as a result, in 2020, how do you think we're doing?
We are doing good. Like I think we are going up. Um, it's very rare to have a yellow skin and black hair as a prince, because most of Disney's movie, except Mulan, most of the prince, the main guy, they are blonde, white skin. Um, it's it's going to a direction that the prince could be Asian too. So yeah, and some of my friends, they were telling me it's your black hair and yellow skin just stand out in Americans company. I guess it's very rare, and that actually give me some advantage of being Asian too. Like people will see you. If you don't dance well, yes, you stick out. But if you doing okay, you also stick out.
Why is it important for the Chinese to see a Chinese prince?
Um, it's not important, but I think it's very, very, how to say, it's a very fresh feeling and vision. Like you can see how they play. I don't know, like when I play a prince, I really bring out my Chinese and I'm being myself. Or also, I'm Buddhist. So without being so arrogant, I am also a like humble prince, you know. I would like to play that role instead of I'm just a blonde hair prince.
Like a Ken doll, you know?
Right.
So talk a little bit more about that, because not all princes are humble, you know? So say you have to play Albrecht, or say you have to play, you know, one of these characters that maybe has a little bit, it's a little bit more complicated. How do you think that your approach to your Chinese heritage, like you said, you bring in your Chineseness, what does that mean for somebody?
It means like when I play Albert, it's one of my favorite character to play. It's very complicated and fun. In another way, this character that I'm playing, it is not doing the bad thing like cheating and stuff on purpose. He just purely fell in love with another girl. And let's say with the Chinese culture, there is arranged marriage, right? So he might arrange with a girl that he did not fall in love with, but they had marriage. But with Giselle, that's a true love and somebody that he choose, but he cannot tell him everything that he's going through. That's how I play that character,
I see.
and he break her heart. Uh, he he really feel guilty, and I think Albert really loved Giselle.
So your approach to the role maybe is that there's an institutional structural marriage that he has to sort of participate in, but where
Yeah,
his heart is actually somewhere else. And so he's not necessarily a bad person or cheating, but just has this, it's a different kind of love.
right. And also
Yeah.
not only Albert, there's all kinds of ballet I can just fit in with my culture and put myself in. Like also Swan Lake, you know, the queen trying to ask the prince to choose one of the girl to get married. Not only before and nowadays, it's how can you choose from, yes, give you 100 girl, but if you don't fall in love, you don't fall in love with them. And so he decided to go to the lake and find a swan by himself, and he trying to escape from the reality. And there's all there's all sorts of this story that I can easily put in the culture of China or like Asian.
Yeah. Because I think that maybe other dancers don't have that same approach. So it's very interesting to hear you know, how you approach these characters in a different way. Um, and that you aren't constrained to say, well, you know, this is a German person, so how would I put myself in this person's shoes? As opposed to saying, well, how am I as a Chinese person, my experience going through life, my experience understanding culture, how would I approach this role, even though this is a German person or a Russian person?
Definitely. And that's why I think it's interesting to see an Asian to play a prince because uh, and once I became principal, I think I play more of myself because everyone is unique and they're worth to watch on the stage. And I would bring my value and my perspective of this character. So that way audience can experience and see different prints.
Yeah, I also think that's important too for young people. So, you know, obviously a lot of young dancers who may be looking for um, somebody who represents them that they can identify with, and to see somebody who's Chinese, if they're also Chinese, playing the prince, might be a very powerful experience for them to say, oh, that I can do this too. There's a place for me too. Are there any dancers like that in your life that you really admired and look up to that really said, hey, you can do this and you belong here?
Like, are you asking if there's a
Yeah,
role
who are
model
your
that
role models? Yeah, who are
yeah,
some
yeah,
of your
yeah.
role models?
That's one of the reason I'm here in Houston Ballet. I have read a book and watch a movie about it's called Mouse Last Dancer.
Mhm.
Lee, he was a previous ex-principal in here in Houston Ballet. Now he's the director of Queensland Ballet, and follow his path. I came to Houston, and I think he already made a history of being a principal in America. So yeah, he was my idol, and I was trying to look up to him. And now I'm principal too, and I want to be my own version of who can inspire the next generation.
So why do you think that it's important that you chose him? Why can't you just, why is it important that you have a Chinese role model as opposed to just say, oh, I like Baryshnikov because he's a great dancer? Why was it so important for you to have Lee as like, as a role model as well for you?
Right. Brishnikov, he's also my role model. But I, I don't know, because it's scary to step in to another country with different culture as an Asian. So people who have same look, same color skin of me would represented me more, or like would give me more encourage to be a ballet dancer in America. Because Brishchenkov, he is a Russian, but he have kind of same look as America. So it will be different, or maybe, I don't know, let's not say easier, but it's just gonna be different for me. But somebody who have same problem, or um, you know, same race as me would actually inspire me more, and that would help me um, to face all the challenge I have as Asian.
Yeah. So tell me, what would advice then would you give passing it forward to the next generation of young people looking up to you as their hero? As somebody they want to dance like and emulate. What advice would you have for them, for young dancers who want to pursue a professional career?
Right. Well, I think it's quite very important to know what you want, and then ignore. And let's say if you have some like racist problem, not that ignore, like people would say it, and maybe 100 years from now, the problem will still be here. And the one thing we can do is just to focus on what we do and do it well, and you will earn the respect from that way. You don't have to fight or tell them like it's not okay to say that. Um, those are the stuff that people would, maybe they just come up with it just to try to irritate you on purpose. But you know, you do what you need to do and get to a position that they will have nothing to say. Yes, Asian can also be a principal and also can be a prince too.
Have you experienced personally any racism, here in America? If there's anything you feel comfortable sharing, what your experience is, would just curious.
Yes, yes, luckily not much, but there is some people, I don't want to mention the name, they would do that on purpose. Maybe they see how fast, how to say, how fast I get promoted, or how well I'm doing, and they will always say some stuff just to irritate you. I don't know, it's
But that's based on race as opposed to your personality. Like, it's one thing if I say, oh, you have short legs or you have biscuit feet, uh, but to make it about your race, is that your experience?
yes, and they will find a way to say it. Like, let's say, even though, okay, they will make it very clear, you're Chinese, and but I love Japanese more. They would say something like that and make it not a like Asian thing, but they will still be like, okay, because you're Chinese, they will make some joke. And I will see, yes, I will see that as a joke because you don't have to put that in your mind and you just move on. And it was not only once or twice to do that to me. And for me, it was not that bad, but I see some people to do some like language attack to Asian people because they just don't respect them as a person. They just see them as an Asian, but I see it. For me, it's better because I'm higher rank and people, they respect me. But, I don't, there is, but I do see some racist problem, and, people just deal with it. Yeah, because, all the Asian people, it's not like white and black, but we are Asian, as you were saying. There is some problem, but I would suggest people to just ignore it, see it as a joke, and move on and do your stuff.
Yeah, it does get tiring though, if you face it all the time, especially if you're a young dancer just trying to get better and work on themselves. So I think that's very good advice for all of our young dancers. Moving more broadly, what do you think dance needs to do post-coronavirus to rebuild and create a larger, more loyal, younger audience for dance in general? Like, what do you think our community has to do to make that happen?
This is a good opportunity to create content through the internet, so everywhere can see your work, not only in Houston. And dance is not only for people who have a good facility. Dance is for everyone, for any race. So I think especially now, we are stuck at home, we don't know what to do, but I think art form is really good for people to clear their mind and live in the moment, not only from watching. If you try to dance, it really help your emotion and help you emotionally and physically.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I want to wrap up our interview with a few sort of lightning round questions. So I'm just going to ask you, just give me like 1 or 2 word answers for like, so dream role.
Apollo.
Dinner with one historic ballet figure. Alive or dead?
Wait. There's a few in my mind, but I want to.
Okay, you can have a table of 4. How about that? I'll give you a table of 4.
Wow.
Who's at your table?
Okay, let's say Eric Byrne.
Okay.
Bereshnikov.
Okay.
Let's say I forgot his name. How come? Oh my god. Okay, let's have them 2 only now.
Okay, we'll have the 2 of them. We'll have a little intimate dinner for 3.
Yes.
What is your favorite moment on stage?
It will be when I perform Mary Riddle as Danilo.
Nutcracker, tired or inspired?
Tired.
Okay. What is your coronavirus guilty pleasure?
Drinking Coke.
Drinking Coke. And what is your secret to staying in shape during the coronavirus?
Wow. 100 burpees.
Okay, burpees. All right, well, wrapping this up, our viewers who want to help and want to help you, want to help Houston Ballet, how can they get involved with making sure the arts are survived these tough times?
First of all, we'll be very appreciated if you can check out houstonballet.org. You can donate anything will be appreciated. And then you can follow my Instagram at Chunner. I will offer class there, and that's a huge support for me.
All right, you're gonna kick my butt, get me in shape, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me today. Thank you to everybody tuning in. Make sure to check out our Instagram page right now to see who is tomorrow's dancer, and tune in at noon Eastern time tomorrow for the next conversation. Thank you so much again for the chat.
Thank you for having me.
Take
Stay
care.
safe.